Okay, at this time, we call our Charter Review Board meeting to order at 6:43 PM.
I'll go ahead and do the roll call.
Okay.
Board Member Bria,
Here.
Board Member Dennis,
Here.
Board Member El Hassan,
Here.
Vice Chair Williams,
Here.
and Chair Allen.
Here. Okay, at this time, we have our invocation and member board. Dennis, would you still like to do it this meeting again? Okay, do our invocation.
Gracious and everlasting Father, we come to you today, asking you to guide our hearts, Father, but make sure that we do the business of the city, Father. Father, we'd ask that you give us the guidance, the wisdom, and the understanding to put together whatever that it is that you have accomplished us and whatever you have allowed us to do. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
To the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so for the approval of the minutes, do our city clerk goes about, or me, myself, the chairperson?
I'm sorry?
I was asking a question for the Opa-locka Charter Review Board meeting minutes
Mhm.
for its approval. Okay, you would move that? I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. So you would need a motion by any member of the board and then second and then a roll call.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for our meeting for October 2nd, 2025.
Second.
Okay, so it was moved by Board Member Dennis and I believe second by Vice Chair Williams. And I'll go ahead and do the roll call at this time. Board Member Bria,
Yes.
Board Member Dennis,
Yes.
Board Member El Hassan,
Yes.
Vice Chair Williams,
Yes.
Chair Allen.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And next we have our old business, and we have continuing discussion of the elected official salaries and benefits, review of the compensation, benefits, and expense allowance for the mayor and commission. Okay, now, okay, thought you was getting ready to ask me something. Okay, now,
No, I'm sorry,
Go ahead. Okay.
Chair Allen, I just wanted to make a brief statement before we start on the discussion. So I know at our previous meeting, I believe it was the October meeting, the board tasked the clerk's office with retrieving information as it relates to elected officials' salaries. And we did provide a packet that was emailed and also some of you all picked up a hard copy of that information, which you should have before you as well. This document includes the 2023 salary survey from Miami Beach, the Florida League of Cities elected officials salary data from 2023 as well, Miami-Dade Commission on Ethics and Public Trust compensation of elected officials in Miami-Dade County, State of Florida salaries of elected county constitutional officers and school district officials for fiscal year 2024-2025. I think another item that was requested at that time was what it would cost the city of Opa-locka to provide benefits for the elected officials. We did reach out to the manager's office, and that information is also provided in tab number 5. In tab number 6, we have Miami-Dade County and Broward municipalities candidate qualifying fees. That was another issue that was brought up at that time at the last meeting. How much other municipalities are charging for the qualifying fee? As I previously stated, the city of Opa-locka charges $250 to qualify, but there is a 1% state assessment that is also charged, which is 1% of the salary for the elected official, and that salary is $6,600 per year, which the 1% would be $66. So when someone qualifies for office, that total amount is $316. In tab number 7, we provided, which was another item that the board asked, was for the Opa-locka Parks and Recreation Special Events budget. And we did provide that information for fiscal year 2026 for the city of Opa-locka. And in tab number 8, we have the 2022 referendum resolutions, which these items were also presented to the board at the October meeting. And that concludes my statement.
The question, I don't know if I'm gonna accent it too early. If this is approved, where would the extra money would come from to move it from 550 to 1,000? Is it gonna be taken out from other budgets? Cause I know the money has to come from somewhere, unless I'm asking the question too early.
So, no, if I may, so our budget for fiscal year 2026 has already been adopted. And what's currently budgeted in the line item for compensation is what the elected officials currently receive. If there were a change in this fiscal year, in terms of the salary for the elected officials, then there would have to be a budget amendment at some point to transfer monies from one line item to another one. And that transfer of funds would have to be determined by the manager's office. I don't do the budget, so I really can't say where the money would come from. But I know as it stands now, it's only budgeted for the amount that the elected officials are currently receiving at this time. And also, you can take into consideration as well, depending on what election you would recommend that this be placed on. If it's the August ballot, then maybe there can be some language that says it won't take into effect until the FY27 budget. So that way, it'll take effect in the new budget, and that will allow, I guess, the city to plan in advance to budget for those amount.
Right, Chris, okay. Because when I was looking over the Parks and Recreation fees, and I was like, whoa, hope they don't have to take from one budget to make for the increase, but you just explained to me how it's done. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Through the chair.
Mhm.
Just as Madam Clerk mentioned, it won't be this budget, but moving forward, if the item passes, there, and of course, we know that's in the future, when that budget is adopted and provided goes through all the channels, through all the departments. I just want to be clear, it will be from the city's budget. It's not so much of cutting from parks or cutting from other places. It's just a matter of reallocating funds so that that money is there. And there are other avenues and other funding structures within the city where, correct, Madam Clerk?
I think that's a manager question, but I would say yes,
I was just trying
ma'am.
to be clear because when she said parks, I don't want anyone to get, it would
No.
it wouldn't be taking from parks or anything, seniors or children or anything like that. So, but I just wanted to be clear because that I would probably ask the same question, like you don't want that to happen as in addition. So I just wanted to just straight, give that out.
That's my only lingering question I had, that if someone's budget will be sacrificed so that this increase can be made for these, for the mayor and commissioners. Okay, thank you. So, and next we have B, revision of section 2.511 powers. Okay, it says review of the current language in section 2.511. Adopt, modify, and carry out plans proposed for in the clearance of slum districts and rehabilitation of blight areas. Then it suggested was possible amendment language for consideration. Adopt, modify, and carry out proposed plans for improving areas in need of rehabilitation. So do we?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
So if you recall from the last meeting, this was one of your recommendations, and I did submit to the city attorney's office because I wasn't able to answer the question that you asked at that time. I did send them an email with that question, and I think we do have an attorney here from Bernadette's office that he should be able to respond to that.
Good evening.
Good
My
evening.
name is Samar Surkam. I'm from Miss Bernadette's Norriswick's office. I believe there was two questions asked at the last meeting. One in relation to the commissions and mayor's compensation. The first question is related to like whether the two proposals can be combined, whether the amendment for the commission to be able to increase their own salary or be combined with the actual increase of salary. And the answer is no, they should be two separate items. That currently the mayor's and commission's salary is defined in the city charter. And to amend their salary needs an amendment to the charter. And to give them the power to be able to increase their salary, absent of amendment needs to be a separate amendment to the charter as well. So that answers the first question. In relation to the second question, as far as the terminology of the slums and blighted area. So yes, you can amend those sections to have a different language. There's a history of where the language comes from. This currently there comes from the Florida statutes 163.304 defining blighted areas and slum areas, and section 163.370 subsection 1 authorizing municipality to carry out and develop the rehabilitation of such areas. The city attorneys have found like possible suggestions for alternative language. One being to adopt, modify, and carry out plans proposed for the improvement, rehabilitation, or redevelopment of areas in need of revitalization or reinvestment, including those identified pursuant to Florida statutes, Chapter 163, Part 3, or other applicable laws. And another proposed revision could be to adopt, modify, and carry out plans proposed for the improvement, rehabilitation, and redevelopment of areas in need of revitalization or reinvestment consistent with city's comprehensive plan and as authorized by Florida statutes, Chapter 163, Part 3, or other applicable laws, and to effectuate such plans in a manner that promotes equitable and sustainable community development. So it is possible, you just need to appropriate amendment to the charter to be made to change the language.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Now, what would be the next step for us to do to have it officially, as they would say, in black and white?
You would need to work with city staff to propose the necessary amendment to be put onto the referendum to be on the ballot for the next election.
Oh, so this has to be voted on by the citizens.
Because because you're amending the
Right.
city's charter.
with this here, because I know we can discuss things, would we try to get it on the next ballot? Do we move like with this here to get on the ballot for next year's election for this language change? While we're also pursuing for the
So-
increase?
Yeah,
I'm asking, I don't,
through the chair,
So, um,
go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Madam Chair, so the Charter Review Board is to recommend to
Okay.
the City Commission. This ultimately has to go before the City Commission for a vote. So they have the ultimate say-so in terms of the ballot questions that will be submitted to Miami-Dade County for referendum. I'm not sure if I answered your question or.
yes,
Okay.
because what I need to know is the steps, because I don't want, I'm still learning the steps of how it goes about to change the language that, we presented, yes, to whoever is the next party, they're supposed to pick up the ball and keep it moving.
That'll be the commission. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Through the chair, that would be the commission,
Okay,
and that would be their job to put it on the ballot. So our job is to get it there, which we're pretty much there, is to get it there, vote on it, and make the next step so that the commission can make the determination of, do they want it on the August ballot or the November ballot?
And just to add to that, any recommendations from any of you all, there has to be a consensus for the board, from the Charter Review Board, for it to move to that next step, which would be, to be presented to the City Commission for their review, and if they're gonna move forward with those ballot questions.
okay, so.
And I'm sorry, but my voice is like.
No, it's okay. So let me say within case, so initially propose, then within ourselves, do a discussion. And then we vote on it, then it goes to the next step.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. I just wanted to make sure, so we have to do the discussion if we want to. Cause mine now, I know we have suggestion, but I do love input. Cause I don't want to be the only voice. I love for all of us to input, cause I know each one of us are representing our city. So I don't want to seem as if I'm taking over the conversation. Okay.
You're not,
Okay.
you're not.
I don't know, it's just me when I saw that language and I'm like, we need to bring the language up to date. Cause I know. Okay, presentation. Okay, let me move to the next step. Could that comment it just be an
Can I-
inside comment?
Through the chair,
Yes, dear.
I just wanted to say, I think if what we should do is create some type of like how many changes as a board we would like to, I mean, of course, we're all making suggestions. Right now, it appears that it is, and it had always been, the compensation for mayor and commission, and now the slum and blight, that deletion from the section. I think if we can maybe present, if there's a third, so that we're not, to give the commission a, a couple of things to review. Now the only thing is, I'm just a little, I don't know if the removal of slum, even though I 100% understand that language is, it's not feel good language, but I do know that that is language that's, a part of the state of Florida and other grants and other things that I know when I was on the board, we've had to target, and those are the words that we've used, slum and blight, or blighted areas. I don't know if that can be removed. I mean, I know it's a possibility, but I just don't know if we want to tackle that in terms of how many things we want to put on we want to focus on. I personally want to focus on mayor and commission salary. I think, to me, that's something that we have attempted to try before on the last charter review and couldn't get it passed through with our residents. But I'm just wondering if removing that language, slum districts and rehabilitation of blighted areas, will we be in compliance with the state of Florida? And uh, I don't know if that's legal or clerk, I don't.
We wouldn't, based on what I previously said, we wouldn't be, it was like an amendment, like, we're not removing the language, we're just changing how it's said. So the, proposed revisions that we have read earlier, they won't make reference back to the same Florida statute that does define and use
Okay,
those slums, those words as,
correct. I was gonna say, because
Yeah.
it's in the Florida statute, so it's just changing it in our charter so that when we read it, it doesn't, but it does reference it
Back
back.
to-
I just want to make sure that there's a connection so that when, as a city, whatever we're doing in terms of our specific areas within the city, that it won't affect it.
Yeah,
So, okay,
the proposed, the two alternatives I read earlier, they're not removing it, just amending it to
yes,
also tying back to that chapter of the Florida statute that does define the word slum and blighted area and give the powers relating to that.
Sorry. Okay,
To the chair.
yes. Okay, our next one, yes, I'm sorry, go
To the
ahead.
chair. Um, board member, board member Williams is where I was at, and she jumped right to it. And that's the salary, the compensation, the health packages and stuff like that for the commission. Those things are like the priority. And that just the priority. And the reason why I'm saying I know you read that they have to be separated. They have to be two proposed different amendments. So what I would like for us to do is to come back at the next meeting with the consensus of the board, and let's have those things up for view, and so that we could be able to vote on it and get that to the commission as soon as possible, because it's supposed to be done by a certain time.
Mhm.
And so I've been a part of this city for so long and watched the compensation of the members of the board drag us at the same pace for almost 20, it's been like 27 years, 28 years. And so to have that language ready for us to vote on at the next meeting and approve it so that the commission could make a decision on when they would want to do it, or if they need to add or take away from whatever this board has produced for them. I think that should be the priority. The revision is great the way it is, because it ties back to the statute. I think we could be able to vote on that as well, so that those things that we need to make do on, we could get it to the commission as soon as possible, so that whatever needs to go on the ballot, it could be down to the Department of Elections. I think at the latest March, no later than March. So those things are key. But the most important thing is, just for me, and what the people that put the time in and run the city and serve it every couple of Wednesdays and other city events, those things are what's important, because they haven't had a compensation package in probably like maybe 6 or 7 years. So if something happens to one of the commissioners, there's no way for them to be they're any type of health care, anything to be subsidized by the city. They're out of pocket, but yet they work for the city and supposed to get things done. And as citizens, we're looking for them to get something done. We're looking for them for answers and guidance to lead the city. So I would like for us to get that piece done as a priority, and to be able to vote on it in the next meeting and get that to the commission as soon as possible.
So we go back and revisit A to get the language.
Through the chair.
Hmm? No, I'm asking. Do we go back and revisit as as Mr. Dennis said? Because I agree now, because I know last meeting we had almost a whole hour. We were given reasons why for the increase. So now with this meeting, we were supposed to be doing the language to propose to commission, our commission board. Okay, who can answer my question? So we do the language now, right? Because I did look through the book and so forth. So do we propose the language now at this time? Okay, am I throwing? Okay, I'm getting looks.
No, I don't.
Okay, I'm getting
I
looks.
think I just don't want to. I don't want to take over the conversation. I just want
No.
to share the love down here.
Okay,
Well, your idea was to then in the next meeting talk about both, to vote on both. I think that's a good idea than to kind of decide now, but I mean, that's my opinion on that.
So through the chair. Um, oh wait, Miss Opa-locka, you turned on your light. Go ahead.
I'm playing catch up. However, from what I've read and saw, I don't know what brought about the change of this. However, by being back in high school in history, the word slum always came up. So why it was brought upon this group to want to change the language, I don't know. Again, I would think the focus should more so be on the finance part as far as the pay for the commission and recs and parks. But again, that's just my opinion.
I think with what we're saying, I don't think we're gonna have a decision now. Maybe the next meeting we vote on it and kind of agree from what I'm hearing.
So through the chair, I think you all are spot on. I think focusing on that one big ticket item should be what we do focus on, so that just, specifically, you don't want to give overload voters with more things that they need to
reading.
read. I do want to go to tab 5 though, really quick, Madam Clerk. I see that City Manager Lawson included the insurance costs for the city officials. And I think in one of my conversations in one of the meetings, I did mention, I don't know if we really, I don't think we really, extrapolated the conversation, but I still do think that if we're saying monthly, and I don't know what that looks like, because what she's done is, which she's always so thorough, is bucketed. There's my word again. I love bucketed, medical, dental, you know, so I don't vision, life insurance. I don't know what that looks like monthly per person as a whole. Is that, I guess I can take my phone out and add up everything, but that looks like a lot. And I think what I'm saying is, as I go back to my own experience, I did not take on the city's medical, and I'm saying or anything. So it's almost as if you're going to use the health insurance or life insurance or dental or anything, that's fine. If you don't, this is that second option. I think that can be something where the commission, we kind of have a plan A and a plan B, where the commission takes on, looking at both for themselves, because it's almost as if you are saying evenly, we're going with a let's say $10,000 per year or $15,000 per year increase, but then does that equally justifies or equals itself out if one or two commissioners are you doing sorry, I need to be looking out here, are signed up for the medical, the insurance, the health care, you will come out getting more from the city than others. Does that make sense?
I have a question on
Yeah.
that. When you say plan A, plan B, plan A would be using the medical?
Well, so plan A, and just my opinion, is salary. Salary. Plan B would be salary. And if you need the insurance, perhaps your salary will be lower, or your salary,
Okay.
those that do not take on insurance, your salary will be higher. I don't know. I really do not want to um confuse voters specifically, because there's a way to maybe figure that out. But I do think that it leaves itself a little imbalanced, if that makes sense.
Can I say something? So I've I've worked with the county before as a school bus driver and for City of Sunny Isles, and I and I don't know if it's still about because that was back in the early 2000s. But I know usually with city or county, if you don't take the insurance, they usually give you that money.
Yes. Mhm.
So you're saying that would be the part B where those people would,
I think that's where we come in. Like, that's what I'm saying. I think
yeah,
that's
because
where
I think that's fair. Because every other city or county does it to where, hey, if you don't take the insurance, then fine, we'll pay you whatever, whatever. But if you take the insurance, then of course the salary will be lower because now you have to take out whatever you're paying for your insurance.
Through the chair. So the compensation should be this. And I think the commission could decide that. And I understand where Commissioner Williams is at. It's an option. If the mayor or the commissioner decide that I would rather use my job insurance, but my salary increase or whatever it is, then that's their option. But we wouldn't know that until they get to that point. So that would be something with the managers, and I don't have my book in front of me. I left it on the table. But it's thorough. And that whoever did this, and I give kudos to the clerk's office, especially the manager. She's definitely by the numbers. But up to the entire book, it's an option. So I don't believe the option should be on the ballot because it's an individual choice.
I agree.
Correct.
That I was thinking that we can't
So-
make their decision on that.
So we need to just concentrate on the salary, and then if they decide that they don't want the insurance, then it'll move forward that way. If they decide they want the insurance, of course your salary is because they're going to take it from the salary. I understand clearly what former mayor, vice mayor, commissioner, principal Williams is saying, because it's an option. It's an option for them to decide. And if we put that language inside there, it's going to confuse the voters. And just to make it simple, just mayor commissioners, increasing their salary. Giving them a salary increase. And I think the attorney said that it has to be separate as far as the other people. It's two different.
The ability to increase their own
The-
commission with
those-
compensation without a
without-
charter
with-
amendment are two
right.
different things.
So those two things are the things that we need to focus on. And that should be pretty much that discretion is theirs if they don't take the insurance, and whatever it turns out to be that they get as far as the salary, that will determine what they take home from working as a commissioner. Or if they decide to take the insurance and take on what's left of the salary as a commissioner or the mayor.
I've been hearing a lot of suggestions. Okay, let me make sure, because I was trying my best to soak it in. So what we're saying that we want to propose, because I don't want us to keep going in circle, with the same thing, and then before we know it, it's a whole year later and we haven't accomplished anything. Because I know all of us, our time is very precious. So what I am hearing is that the proposed salary to 1,000. And if then we have to, they have the insurance that we see here that was given to us, the cost, which the city will be paying for them. But if they decide they do not want the insurance, then the city will pay them? Or am I
No,
Okay, there we go. See, that's what throwing me off. now.
I got you.
Okay,
So whatever the final amount is that we're approving for the commission to have,
okay, that's for salary increase.
that for the salary increase, whatever that amount is,
Okay. which is
everybody will have
1,000.
that amount.
Okay, 1,000, I know for the commissioners.
However, if
Uh-huh.
you choose to go with the insurance, the money of the insurance will come out of that salary. So now you're not getting that 1,000. You will
Okay,
get less
There
than.
we go. There we go. Okay.
However, we're also saying for them to choose either or
Mhm.
should not be on the ballot. That is for them to do. That should more so be just like a regular job, an in-house thing. So only thing we need to put on the ballot is approving the increase of salary. Then once that go through willingly, then they will take that up with the manager, I believe.
Mhm.
And then they will have that option with the manager to say, hey, I want to keep my $1,000 and not take your insurance because I have insurance elsewhere, or please go ahead and substitute my insurance from the salary.
Okay.
But that's something that does not need to be on the ballot.
Right, so that'll just be an HR.
Correct.
There we go. There we go.
I don't,
And I got on glasses. I'm sorry.
Okay. Any further discussion?
you said 1,000, when you said 1,000, where'd you get that number from?
That's what we had proposed last time. We had come from 550 to 1,000, no?
You mean
Or
a
just-
$1,000 increase?
No,
Or-
not
I don't-
$1,000 increase. Okay,
Oh,
no,
per month.
right.
Okay.
No, am I? Was it suggested, no?
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
that may have came up in the discussion from the 2022 ballot questions, because I see that that amount was in
Mhm.
there from
Okay.
550 to 1,000, where they attempted to increase it at that time to 1,000.
Mhm.
So that's probably where you got the $1,000 from.
Through the chair, through the chair. Madam Clerk, wouldn't the board decide what they would want their salary to be? And
The-
it goes to the voters?
The board would recommend
Right.
to the
Recommend.
commission. It still has to go to the commission.
Okay. Just want to be thorough with that. Okay, one more.
If I may ask, and I know I saw it somewhere, but Madam Clerk, maybe you could tell me off the top of your head, what is the amount we're looking at right now, as of right now, that they get?
So right now the elected officials get 550 per month. So that's a total of 6,600 annual salary for each. And it's the same for mayor, vice mayor, commissioners.
There's no difference in level.
No, ma'am, it's the same compensation. And they do take taxes from their pay.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
From the okay. Another question. Has there ever been a time, if you could recall, where there was a difference of pay as far as mayor, vice mayor, and then commissioners?
No,
What's that,
never.
No, I've been working here for 30 years, and I think for the most part, the salary has been the same for all those years.
Thank you.
Through the chair, and I hear you. I want to just make sure, I think every little small gain is the best gain. And I 100% hear you, because it is harder, the more, each level in terms of the commission, does bring a level of work. But what I don't want to do is, let's keep everything simple, the KISS method. And I think if we keep it simple with, if we're saying $1,000, was that $12,000 a year? 12,000 a year. Me and math. Okay, thank you, Joanna. So if we say 12, because I sometimes we're going month and we're going year, then we're going month and we're going year. So if 12,000 per year as opposed to 60, whatever that was, or 1,000 per month as an increase. Of course, that's before taxes, proposal one, and we can write that, and using a similar language from the last charter review. I'm just proposing a proposal two for the commission to review, is that if you do decide to take on the city's compensation package, that and I just don't know what that is. Like, I'm sure there's a monthly premium, some type of premium that the city has to take on. If I was to take on my own health care, whatever that premium would be, then that would be deducted from your 1,000 per month salary. And that was just my two proposals. Again, Ms. Lawson would have to let us know what that monthly premium is. I don't know, it could be $300, whatever that is. If not, then the board can decide flat across the board, everyone gets the 12,000, everyone is offered healthcare, whether they take it or not. And that's another option as well. So I'm just proposing those two options.
Question. I'm sorry, I'm playing catch up. How did we come about the $1,000?
It was suggested previously proposal, which is in the back.
So about 4 years ago, we had another charter review board, and that's where it came from.
I mean, maybe I'm being biased, but with the times right now, do we really find that to be fair?
So I'm gonna be really quick, because we did have this discussion. I think because you just joining us, but really quick. You are 100%, 150% correct. However, the voters have to vote. And this amendment has been denied by voters multiple times. So you're right. That's what we think we're worth, and that's what we know that other citizens think that we're worth, especially those that are around the board and know the work that we past and present do. But the issue is the voters who don't know, and their biases, or I would say their lack of knowledge or their lack of understanding. So trying to unlock Opa-locka's history so that they do away with those old biases to say yes to this item. And that's where it's going to be key, because if I'm constantly stuck in the past thinking, well, why would I give them money? Because they're going to steal it. That is what I hear all the time. So we stay locked in a 550 pattern because of the past. The issue is trying to figure out and sell this amendment. That's up to the commission. How are they going to sell it? How are they going to market it? How are they going to show Opa-locka, like look at the great stuff. And I was just at the barbershop the other day, right here, Pro Cuts. Look at everything. Just look around. You don't even have to do anything. Just look. You don't even have to join a commission meeting. Look in your own community and you'll see the changes that are being made. So we got to sell that. So you're right, but I think we got to go the increments, you know.
Okay. Now, my second thing would be, I don't want to say it's the wrong way, but kind of dumbing down the language when it comes to voting, because I think that also may have an impact on some people. Because going back to my younger days, reading some of the stuff when you go voting is like, wait, what? What am I voting for? Like you're just picking yes or no because you don't really get it. So once, or do we even have a say so on how it shows on the ballot, as far as it being kind of dummied down?
Through the chair. So the commission and the attorney and clerk's office will work on the language for that, and they will make those determinations. I'm going to say this, and this is why I bought this. When we look at, and when we look at where the city was and where it's at now, we're in two different states. Completely. There's growth in the city, and then there's also stability in the city that's been brought by the manager, by hiring the city manager that the commission has done so thoroughly. Now, let's examine the 5 members that sit up here. When we look at the 5 members, those previous and currently that have set up here, they've done the work. They put the time in to be able to get the city in the direction that it's moving. The city is, I want to say, out of financial oversight. Where this manager has us and where the commission has us, and where they have trusted the manager to do her job. They have trusted, the clerk just got a raise. 30 years she's been sitting in the spot and doing a job. So the manager and the clerk and the different department heads are working together. And as former Commissioner Mayor and Vice Mayor Williams just said, look around your city and see the progress and see the growth. So now those things increase tax revenues. About almost 30 years ago, Opa-locka and Florida City were 2 of the most poor cities in the nation. They would talk about it in the nation. But when we look at the growth of the city now, we talk about from 1986. We're in 2025 going into 2026. So let's say 40 years later, let's look at the growth of the city. Let's look at the growth of the city. Let's look at those who are in charge and who have now brought the city, past and present members of the commission that brought the city to where it's at now. It's on a growth spurt. It's on a growth state. So the compensation, again, we have commissioners, past and present, that have worked and are working with no health insurance, no life insurance, no dental insurance. Former Commissioner Burt, he was in office when he died. The city couldn't do nothing for him. There was no pad. There was no compensation. There was no insurance. There wasn't anything for the commission. So basically, the commission was they're working for free. They're working for free, and yeah, they get out and campaign because they want to do the job, and many of us that have run for office because we want to see the betterment of the city. But that also should include that the salary increase by what you see. Look around at what you see. Look around at what's coming to the city and what's happening in the city. everything that's now coming to the city has to be, and well, everything that has been brought to the city, it has been done thoroughly with right intent, not malicious intent, and it has brought value. Property values have gone up. So now the city needs to take care of its own. And again, as it was stated, it's up to the commission to market to the voters why this should pass. It's up to the commission to decide why it should be, what in which manner it should be presented to the voters and market it well, so that as many times as this item has gone to the ballot and lost, that finally it succeeds. The work in, they've done the work, the time is in. The compensation should fit the work. It's like it's like working at your job. You're not going to undervalue your value if you're the boss. And if you got a star employee, you're not going to undervalue that employee that you know that's bringing something to your company. So why must we, and I'm saying this as a city, why should we continuously not do the work? If you're saying in the past where the city didn't have no money and we were broke and look all the stuff that was going on, okay, that's in the past. Now let's look at what's going on now. It's the now. It's the now. There was no way that the clerk could get a raise if the city was still doing bad in oversight. There's no way that we could put the manager in the salary that she surely deserved, because the manager has been here just a few years shorter than the clerk. They put in the work. So we have members of the commission that did what? They have put in the work to make sure that this city grows and thrives, past and present.
If I may add, okay, because I wasn't sure. I agree with you because last time I did say that, I've seen the city grow, but I agree a lot with what she's saying with the language they put in the ballot. And I'm not sure if that's something we can do. She asked if we can change. Well, okay, so it's the commission who decides.
Yeah, we make recommendations and they have the final say so.
Okay, because I think that is a big deal when it comes to voting, when they're using all these legal terms, and sometimes you don't even know what you're voting for. You have to pick something because you're there. And I have seen the city grow. And even though people do see bingo night and all these events, some people are still like, oh no, but I'm not gonna pay more. And I think, again, it's the way you also say it. But going back to that, I guess it would be something we would have to recommend to the commissioner. I'm a little confused if, I guess they just decide how to put it on the ballot, or they decide how they put it, and we wouldn't have a say on how, or I guess suggest.
So through the chair, so anything dealing with the, like, what's on the ballot, no, we do not. That's all through the city manager's office, through legal, the city attorney, because though that jargon must be, must align with everything that it needs to align with. So no, we as a board, our purpose is what we're doing now, make recommendations. We don't even have to, think about putting that language right now or trying to create that language. Yeah, I agree. You're right. The language doesn't, like, it's too heavy, but unfortunately hopefully, this time around, maybe there's some way that the city attorney can figure out how to make it a little bit smoother. I thought myself the last time it was on the ballot, it was a lot to read, but then there's, again, I talk about the marketing. Yes or no? It's either yes or no. Forget reading everything. Yes, want to increase. No, I don't. And you can see that in, even if it's in Spanish, sí or no, So we gotta, how they have um bond items, and those bonds can go on and on and on and on and on and on. But then you see that marketing and they just say yes on 56, and that's it. So it has to just be clear cut. cut and dry. And, and I think that's really what it is. It's just, how it's marketed. And again, that's they have, after they decide, they, like the recommendation, vote on, including it on the ballot. And then, they will work on, generally, I believe at the time it was me because I was mayor. So I worked with the city attorney to figure out how that language would be, and then it was on the ballot. So that's how that works.
And question, since you were mayor, was it difficult to try to, dummy it down, or? Because you said legal, so I'm assuming there's not much you can do. Okay, that's
Yeah,
fine.
like all this stuff that, like this is the turn, a clerk. And, whoever works on legislation, that's their job.
Okay.
That's not our job to come up with how it sounds or anything. Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to go back again. Because I with you, Madam Chair, so that, we can get it done and have this to the commission as soon as possible. Again, I just would like to make those two recommendations for the salary as is, a flat salary. Whether, the commission as a whole takes compensation or not, and it doesn't matter, or a flat salary, and whoever needs healthcare compensation, it will come out of that salary. The commission could vote on which one, and then they will, begin to write that legislation. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Were you asking me?
I don't know. I just want to be clear. Mr. Not ma'am, Mr. Attorney. Okay. So I would like to make a motion for those two proposals to be presented to the commission.
Move it.
I'm sorry, the motion was made by by Vice Chair Williams, and who second? Board Member Bria. Any discussion? Any further discussion? Mr. Attorney, are you clear or?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay, so I'll call the vote. Board Member Dennis.
Yes.
Board Member El Hassan.
Yes.
Vice Chair Williams.
Yes.
Board Member Bria.
Yes.
And Chair Allen.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Next, we have our new business. And we have our public input. A proposed charter amendment. Okay. And discussion, the opportunity for the public to provide input, comments, or recommendation regarding proposed charter amendment at any future meeting. Ooh.
Hmm?
Do we have any? Did I? Okay.
Through the chair, we have to come up with another date. Our meeting date falls on New Year's Day.
We know it's not gonna. So it have to be the following
So the
week.
following Thursday, which would be
Okay, so what
January
we're
8th.
doing. Okay.
Through the chair, Madam Clerk, what are our next steps as a board?
So it's the way I see it, it's you guys have provided your the recommended salary increase for the elected officials. And I think the attorney's office will now prepare some language to bring back at the next meeting for you all. And he can correct me if I'm wrong, for you all to officially vote on that item. I included on the agenda also, because I remember last year when, or maybe 2 years ago, when we had the charter review board meetings, we included a public input session. We created some flyers to inform the public, on the proposed charter amendments so that they can provide input to the board before you all take that final vote on the recommendation to the commission. So if you guys want to hear, and it's, I mean, we, in every meeting, we have public input, so we're still allowing the public to speak, but we wanted to, I guess, create, now that we have the actual recommendation from the board, maybe just create a flyer with that information. This is what's being proposed. If you have any comments, come to our next meeting. So things of that nature.
Okay.
And then once, everything is set in terms of the recommendation, I'm gonna prepare a report and present it to the city commission with your recommendation, and they will move forward in terms of, the recommendations from the charter review board.
Perfect. So is it safe to say that our sunset will be around January, February?
So the term for the board members is 1 year, but however, let me see. I'm trying to see what the deadlines are. I mean, if the board doesn't have any additional recommendations outside of the ones that you're recommending tonight, then more or less, yes, I would say yes. But we do have two options as well. I think I gave you all a copy of the 2026 ballot issues deadline. So if the ballot questions were being proposed for the primary election that's being held in Miami-Dade County, August 18th, then that deadline is Friday, May 22nd, 2026. And if you guys are proposing, for the general, and I guess the commission, once they receive the recommendations, they'll make that determination. But for the general election on November 3rd, that deadline is Friday, July 24th. So yeah, we just want to be able to at least have the information as soon as possible to the city commission so they can make the determination as to what election they want these ballot questions on.
Okay. And again, we're back to the next meeting. Cause it was said that it would be January 1st, which I know that we're not, the city is gonna be closed anyhow, cause that's a federal legal holiday. So the next one would be the following Thursday, January 8th, the year of 2026. Wow. You all
Yes.
okay so far? We okay?
Yes, I'm good. I don't know if
Okay.
there's any other. I'm good.
Okay, okay.
Is that good for you, Madam Clerk? I don't know.
So far that works. I don't see anything on the
Okay.
calendar for January 8th in the evening, so we should be good.
Next, we have our public comment. At this time, please limit to no more than 3 minutes. Our public. Okay. Public comment at this time is closed. We have no one. Okay, on our next item, we have with our meeting, which we already did that. It will be January 8th, year of 2026. And the pending schedule for January 6th the year of 2026 will be canceled. Okay, we have nothing else to discuss. Members on the board, okay, meeting is adjourned.
I'm,
Okay,
m-
except.
move, okay. I move to adjourn the meeting.
Motion second.
Meeting is adjourned. The time is 7:49 PM.